Alright guys, Revolve Rustler here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Mae Young Classic Finale that took place last night. But first of all, I want to tell you a story. Now, I thought that the show started at 2 o'clock in the morning in the United Kingdom, which would be 9 Eastern, I believe, in the States. And I was wrong. It didn't start till 3, so that was the first time I was wrong. And I was, oh god, I had to wait another hour to watch it. So I went to bed for an hour, woke up at 3, and then realised that the show was only 30 minutes long. So I thought to myself, 30 minutes? That's barely enough time for the match. But anyway, I watched the show, and the match happened, and I do just want to say something. I think that the show overall was actually really rushed. I think the match got enough time, which that's not the problem, but the presentation of the trophy and the presentation of the flowers and everything, to me, was really, really rushed. And I'm talking about this now, so I don't forget it later. I just think that cramming this show in between a SmackDown and a 205 Live this early, and with only a 30-minute runtime, really hurt it. And that's, I just wanted to get that out of the way before I get into the show. But yeah, that to me was not a fun morning. But anyway, I should get into the show. The Mae Young Classic Finale, of course, the final was Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. I will say that before this, I believe 24 hours before, WWE did put something on the network called the Road to the Mae Young Classic Finale, which was like a look back at basically who Shayna and Kairi had beaten, and it also featured a 6-woman tag, which I won't review, but I have seen it. It's not too bad. It was Jazzy Gabert, who is awesome. He's got leap and he's got so much charisma. It was Jazzy Gabert, Tessa Blanchard, and Kaylee Ray, who is, Kaylee Ray's oddly thin, against the team of Marty Bell, which is Boo, Santana Garrett, and Sarah Logan. So basically, losers from the first round had a 6-woman's tag. It was okay. If I was rating it, I'd probably give it 2 3/4 stars. It was decent. In the end, Jazzy Gabert pinned Santana Garrett with a Dominator, and it was a really cool looking Dominator. But I'm not here to review that. It's exactly why I've reviewed it. I'm here to review the Mae Young Classic Finale. So with this show, a 30-minute runtime, I thought there'd be more matches. I thought that this show would go like 2 hours, and they'd just put like some of the other girls, like Lacey Evans or Abby Lath or I don't know, Rachel Evers or whatever, and just give them matches. Like with the Cruiserweight Classic last year, their finale was 2 hours, but of course they had semi-finals. But they still had like a tag match to break up the semi-finals to the final. So I just found it really silly that they just had this 30-minute show with one match on it. It made the match feel important. And it made the match at least, seem like a really big deal because it had a single show dedicated to it and a pop-up's just popped up. But I needed more on the show. But anyway, the show kicked off and we first of all had a red carpet where we showed all the women that were at the show. We had, of course, the 4 horsewomen of UFC. We had Ronda Rousey, Jessamine Duke, and the other one, I can't remember her name, I'm very sorry. We had the 4 horsewomen of NXT. We had Bayley, not Sasha, she wasn't there, Becky and Charlotte. We had Steph, we had Sarah Amato, Sarah Del Rey. We had, we had the women from Glow, the Netflix show, which was cool. We had a bunch of the women who had been knocked out in the series. We had Toni Storm, Candice LeRae, Piper Niven, and Mercedes Martinez were all there. They all looked lovely. And yeah, this red carpet was fine. It was just to put a focus on the women and show that, we're trying something here with the women. And that was it. After that, we had a little thing with Jim Ross and Lita, who were live on commentary this week, on this episode, so we'd see how their live commentary would do. They basically talked about who Shayna beat and who Kairi beat. They picked winners, basically. And then we had the match. Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, the final of the Mae Young Classic. Now, this started off very well. It started off with both women going for pins and submissions. So Shayna would go for an armbar. Kairi would counter into a roll-up. Shayna would counter into a different submission. Kairi would counter into a roll-up. Eventually, Shayna countered into a rear naked choke. Kairi countered into a roll-up, which was a really, really smart little tease where Shayna got up after it and was like, I was this close to getting you. Eventually, Shayna would get the heat with a big head kick to Kairi, and she'd focus on the elbow, which of course was injured from the Toni Storm match, which is good psychology. Kairi would go for a interceptor, which is the spear, but Shayna countered it with a rolling gut wrench, which was very, very cool. Kairi would again try to fight back against Shayna with a combination of strikes. Shayna just kneed her in the face and just killed her after that, which was really, really cool. I've got a horrid cold. I've always got a cold when I do videos. Now I've got to look at my notes. I believe then Kairi finally got the spear, which is the first big thing that Kairi did all match. And she got that spear, she got the interceptor. And then she focused on the ribs of Shayna, obviously waiting to build up to the elbow. She did it with double foot stomps. I believe she hit a gut buster or something like that. But she did, she focused on the ribs, she went up top for the diving elbow, but as she leaped off, Shayna stood to her feet, grabbed the elbow, and somehow locked in that rear naked choke, which again, this was a great little false, tense moment here. Kairi escaped, elbows to the injured ribs, which was very, very smart. So she escaped the rear naked choke. No other woman in the tournament has done that, so it makes sense in the final that someone would, I suppose. Then Kairi killed Shayna with a big back fist, so it was nice to see Kairi give Shayna some strong strikes of her own. Shayna and Kairi went up. I believe they teased the Falcon Arrow in the middle of the ring. Kairi escaped. Shayna teased the Falcon Arrow off the top ropes, but Kairi countered with forearms. Shayna fell down, and Kairi gave her the double foot stomp, the Tree of Woe foot stomp, the Del Rio foot stomp, or the low-key foot stomp, Warrior's Way, I believe he calls it. Gave her the double foot stomp. Great kick out there from Shayna. It was actually a really good near fall. Kairi hit over sliding D in the corner, hit over the diving elbow, 1, 2, 3. Kairi Sane wins the inaugural Mae Young Classic. This was a very good match. This was a very good match. I enjoyed it. Not my favourite match of the tournament. I preferred the Mercedes Martinez match to this one. I think I preferred the Toni Storm Kairi match, and I did prefer the Tessa Blanchard match. Favourite match of the tournament is still Mercedes, and Shayna just told a great story. But this was still a very, very good, entertaining, back and forth match. I didn't quite know which way it was going to go. In the end, they went with Kairi. It was, it was obvious from the beginning they were really going to go with Kairi. But sometimes the best stories are those that you see coming. Everyone thought Kairi was going to win, so she wins. The littlest dog in the fight wins the biggest fight. That's a fine story. And Kairi was in the ring. Shayna got up. They hugged, which I thought Shayna was actually going to attack her. So, it was cool to give Shayna a little bit of compassion. Because she showed very little in the tournament outside of what she showed to Mercedes Martinez. Shayna left the ring. Steph, Sarah Del Rey, and Hunter came down. Brought in the trophy. They gave Kairi some roses. Kairi celebrated for just a small amount of time. And then the show ended. Now, last year with that Cruiserweight Classic, and even this year with the UK tournament, when Tyler Bate and TJ Perkins won those tournaments, they had a long 10-minute segment where TJ Perkins was allowed to cut a promo. And Tyler Bate had a long segment where he just took in the adulation of the fans. Kairi didn't get the opportunity. And that's one other thing I do want to talk about. This show was obviously filmed in front of a SmackDown audience. And I worried about that. I was like, they're not going to know any of these women. Again, this Mae Young Classic, it's not watched by that many people. It's the most watched thing on the network, apparently. At least for the last 2 weeks. But are all these SmackDown fans really going to be interested in it? There was a "This is awesome" chant, but it was kind of mellow. They weren't that into either women, to be honest. Kairi, of course, was over more. But it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And the Mae Young Classic finale ends with Kairi Sane. It was announced with Kairi Sane winning, and it was announced after the show on a WWE.com exclusive that Kairi Sane will be in a NXT Women's title match at NXT TakeOver Houston. So who's she going to face? Ember Moon? If they do Kairi and Ember Moon, if Ember loses again, then I don't know. I think Ember Moon's done. She's lost too many times. Kairi should probably face a Nikki Cross or something. But Ember Moon and Kairi will be a great match. Ember Moon and Asuka was something I was always looking forward to, of course, until Asuka got injured. But Kairi should probably win the belt, to be honest. And I don't think if she loses to Ember Moon, it really hurts her that much, because she has just won this tournament and she did beat Baszler. And I do want to say, I think the finish really did protect Shayna Baszler. I think that the double foot stomp, I've got a horrid nose there, I'm sorry for that. I should get tissues. The double foot stomp, the sliding D, and then the elbow was a great finish because it really did protect Baszler because she just got hit after move with move after move after move, and it's a very New Japan finish. So I gave the match 3 3/4 stars. Not the best match of the tournament, but definitely one of them, and that is how you end the Mae Young Classic finale. So I guess that's it, guys. The Mae Young Classic is over. I've reviewed all 9 episodes, and in the end, it was okay. It was okay. I preferred the. I think I preferred the. Obviously, I preferred the Cruiserweight Classic. I think the United Kingdom tournament had a final that was like 1,000 times better with Dunn and Bate. And it had, I think the UK tournament was better as well, and that was done over 2 nights, and that was live. So that had more chance to be worse. I think the quality, I think that the biggest difference with this tournament, the UK tournament, and the Cruiserweight Classic, was the fact that the quality in this one just wasn't up to snuff. Like, Marty Bell, Davita Kavi, or Kavita Devi, sorry. Rachel Evers wasn't great, really. And when you look at the UK tournament, they had Dunn, Bate, they had Mark Andrews, they had Joseph Connors, they had, real respected indie guys with Dunn and Bate and Connors, and obviously the Cruiserweight Classic, they had Kota Ibushi, Zack Sabre, TJ Perkins, Johnny Gargano, Ciampa, Swan, Brian Kendrick, Tajiri, legends. And the tournament just didn't have that star power, really. That star power or that proper... Those great wrestlers in here. There's a couple. Tony Storm is really, really good. Kyrie is obviously leaps and bounds ahead of anyone in the tournament, really. And I think Shayna Baszler is one of my standouts because of her presence. And I do love Shayna Baszler. She had a hell of a match with Kyrie here. So, kudos to her. And that's it, guys. The Mae Young Classic is over. I've blubbed about it for as long as possible, basically, because I need to get this video to be at some length. And I guess thanks for watching. This has been Raw. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to the Mae Young Classic? What do you think to the final? What do you think to Kairi Sane being the first inaugural winner? What do you think to Kairi going for that NXT Women's title? Who do you think she should face? And what do you think of the future of Shayna Baszler and the rest of the Mae Young Classic participants? Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Revolver Wrestler.